listening to us now and then. We're going to keep doing this until we get it straight. But listen, the question I wanted to find out and ask is can you determine, do you know when you have or when you see somebody with integrity? And my question I'm going to ask the younger fellow that's over there, he over on that side of me. We'll get this camera stuff straight pretty soon. But anyways, we're going to ask the younger fellow.
You have to move further.
I know, I got you. I just did it, man.
No, I mean you.
Why?
So you can be in front of your camera, so that way you can point and it won't be out of the body.
But when I point like that, bam! That's a long finger, ain't it?
Man, we're trying to. If you need the aesthetic setup that you want, you have to.
Okay, but right now, okay. See,
like,
this is see
how I can point at you like this?
I can point at you like that. Cisco. Anyhow, see, that ain't integrity. That's not what we were supposed to be talking about, man. We're supposed to be talking about having integrity. And let me tell you a quick thing that my son went through the other day. He might not want me to tell this, but I'll tell it anyways. It was snowing where we are right now. In case you don't know, because this is going on YouTube. So you might be in Florida where it's 90 degrees. I don't know. Or the Bahamas or somewhere else where you're like, you might just be somewhere where it's warm. Anyway, yeah, close the door. Ooh, Jesus, that made noise. But check this out. So he didn't want to have to go out and trudge that snow and go to work, and I don't blame him. But I felt that he had to go, that he should go. And he told me, he said, he said, man, I know it's because you want me to do this because of integrity. Because I told him, I said, look, you got other people depending on you to come in. And when they get in, the only thing they're going to be shorthanded, and I said, and I've done it, had it done to me a bunch of times, and it ain't too good, so, hey, man, I know as much as you might not want to, I'm going to back up some, so my whole piece of being there. He said, I said, as much as you don't want to, I think the right thing for you to do is to go in. And he told me, he said one of the worst days, he said it's one of the worst days he ever had. Tell him what you said happened to you.
Everything just ended up being just going awry, just immediately from when I stepped through the door. And I'm just like, why? Like, it just couldn't have went any crazier than what it was. It was just too much.
See, I tried to throw some old school on him.
And I even ended up sniffling and all that stuff later on. And he was like, well, you should take something. Well, yeah. If I'd
see, let me tell you what he did. He went in there. I told him, I said, look, bro, because you got, man, these kids today, that's why we're calling it now and then. Because the way we are now, or no, the way they are now, back in the day, we wasn't like that. So, like I'm telling him, hey, man, check this out. This is how people look at certain things. This is what people, he said, but man, everybody's doing it. You can't go by that, man. You have to have your own set of integrity. And you have to have your integrities have to be set within yourself. You have to know what you want to do. So if you make a decision to do something, you should do it. Mama told me one time, she said, boy, because I used to tell.
I was on my way to doing mine.
Huh?
I was on my way to doing mine. And you just like, no, I think you should go. And I was like, all right.
Well, Mom told me one time, she said, look, man, if you're not going to do something, don't promise it to people because your word is all you got. And when you get a job and you work on a job, and this for all, because see, I'm retired right now, so I can say it from a different point of view, but I had to do it. And many a days, man, I worked out in the sun, the rain, the snow, the sleet, and he knows that. That's why when I told him, I said, now, bro, I understand what you feel. I said, but, hey, man, we both, I sympathize with you, but your ass got to go out here because this is the right thing to do. And as he did that, I guarantee you that the people that he's working with say, man, even when it was really rough out, man, he came to work. And that's all I wanted to get him to understand because your integrity is like a good check. You don't want it to be like bouncing all over the place. And you don't want it to be like a Slim Jim where it just could just go down the steps and stuff. You know How they go down
Slinky.
the slinky. She's a slinky, a slinky. Hold up. Everything down the it's the slinky, slinky. Anyways, everybody loved the slinky. That's what boy, slinky. Who would even name something a slinky? But anyway, I know my mind almost went, boy. But I got a switch. I ain't cutting it completely on, but it almost went over. You heard it.
I seen it.
You
I
know?
seen it when you did. When you went like that. It was like it said click.
Yep,
and then
sure
you
did.
came back to click.
I had to cut it off.
Hold on.
I agree going to something wild.
You had to think about it. That's
Well, something was right around the corner, man.
That's why you paused.
And I thought about it, and I was getting ready to say something crazy as hell. And you know,
who were you today with a slinky? I'm glad that's what came out.
the word. Okay, I tell you what. We talking about integrity, and integrity can be attributed to anything. And I'm gonna take this example of the slinky. Now, the slinky was a good toy.
Yeah.
Okay, and it had a lot of integrity because it did what they said it did on the commercial.
It actually did. Yeah.
And this is why the slinky was so popular, because it fulfilled the dream that the person would have. You know, so when they got the toy, it would break. It ain't like some toy.
It only fulfilled for about a week.
But yeah,
and then you'll get that one curl in it that you couldn't get out of it.
And
then you go from doing this.
Now you got a point there. Yeah, because once you get it kinky, if it kink up and turn over,
I never
you had to really you got to take your time and undo it, because it almost has to show you how to do it himself. If you force it and get it out, you always have that little crinkle in there. And every time you it don't work.
To see that gap in
And
it.
then from there, you don't do slinky no more. It's called stanky. Everybody trying to have one that's slinky.
You want to throw it away.
Everybody know it's slinky. But anyhow, I mean, it didn't work. Integrity. And I used to hate after it got that little thing in it, because we would cut them in half, make them half and more, and that didn't work out too well.
I messed up, and then I made them too small, and then once they didn't do nothing, but it didn't even.
But you know what was worse than that? I'll tell you what was worse.
Paddle ball.
No, the paddles.
I hated that so much. I couldn't do that at all.
But wait a minute, that ain't what killed us. Remember them things? Them things would break your ankle. See this right here? Clackers. See this right here? From clackers. Break your. No, I'm just lying. That ain't my wrist always been like that. But it looked like. But them clackers would hit your boy, swell all that up. So they had to take them off the market. But here again, let's go back to what our topic was: integrity. Even with the clackers, no good integrity. Those things was dangerous.
Yeah.
If you would clack them, because for y'all that don't know what I'm talking about, that's real old school. Clackers were two little nylon balls that was about not that big, and it was on a string, and at the end of the string was a loop that you held in your hand like this, and the whole thing was just to take the things and bounce them, and the two things would click, clack, clack, and then finally they were supposed to clack up and clack, clack, clack. But the problem is, if you did it too much and you got a rhythm, they would overheat and they would shatter. So the integrity was bad. Whoever put them together was just a novelty. Let's just do it. It wasn't like the slinky. The slinky, you could play with that because you could
all day long. Like,
let me ask you something. Any of y'all like that tried to sleep with your slinky? We called back in the day. We called them. You didn't try to sleep with your slinky.
No.
We call them slinky sleepers. Slinky sleepers is people that have a fetish for sleeping with the slinkies, and they would just go to the store. I know my switch came on, but I'm gonna finish this story. They go to the store and they would buy slinkies.
He said slinky sleepers.
Yeah, slinky sleepers. That was actually what you know how like when people pee in the bed, we call them a bed wetter, but we call them pee pots. That's what we call sleepy sleepers. And that was for people that slept with their slinkies. But we wouldn't let them sleep with them for long, because if we found your buddy and you found out that your buddy was out there sleeping with a slinky, we try to talk to him or steal a slinky. But anyways, all I just wanted to say is this. I try to get the young blood to explain to you about integrity. Do you even know what integrity is?
So my particular way of interpreting what integrity is, well, I should say what it means to me.
Yeah.
Is like never going back on your word. Is kind of how I think about it. If you tell someone that you're going to do something and you don't do it, automatically, you just kind of lose a little bit of trust in there, and it starts to break.
Amen. Amen.
It starts to break. It starts to break down the foundation that you've built in that relationship with that person. So as far as integrity, as far as how I perceive it, as far as its meaning, taking your word as a man is standing on it.
Good. That's a good way. Now, let me ask you this, since I'm the daddy. Where did you, and you better get a right answer to this. Where did you learn that from?
I already know.
You going to learn it. Now, if you say uncle. Yeah, Uncle Keith, Uncle Tommy. Now, because I'm going to tell you, them two boys would work.
Now, as far as
don't give them money. Don't give them money.
Yeah.
Don't give them money. Don't tell them hold this till I come back. Don't worry.
You see what Tommy did the other day? He told that boy, give him money. Hey. What my chain, boy?
My brother says he don't play about it. Anyway, he don't play with the money thing, and the guy didn't give him his change money back. Hey,
ended up with his whole bill.
Yeah. He said, no, man, give me my money. But I understand how he felt. When I thought the dude had like maybe 75 cents, this dude pulls out a wad of money that he done put in a money clip. And he like, oh man, I forgot. No, you didn't.
Oh,
he didn't see integrity. This dude didn't have no integrity.
None.
You just loved him. But anyways, this is kind of like what our thing is going to be about. I think that life is to be enjoyed. And I've often taught me and Zay and Zay's mom, we taught them, man, we taught him to have integrity.
You guys telling stuff to us in a normal fashion and then saying it, with some aggression behind it. It gets the point across, a little differently, especially when you have kids that come from, an environment like we grew up in, so, a little hard-headed already. Like teacher try to tell you something one way and then they all right, look, now when I start threatening people, then, then everybody start listening. So it's just a little bit of aggression that it took to learn some stuff. But once you get older, you start to learn like, okay, maybe I should listen first.
I moved up. And I like the way the colors and the pictures came out. Once we kind of get our field of gravity, or whatever you call it. Yeah, I mean, I've been watching Star Trek. I'm surprised.
Field of view, focus.
I'm surprised I don't tell you that the manifold for the plasma inductors is messed up or something crazy.
Captain's log.
Yeah, Captain's log. I never understood the start date. Start date 4689. I figured it out one time.
You told me once, but that was
it took a long time. I wouldn't try to figure it out the day to mine.
That was back when you was